2, 3, and... Kadosh, Kadosh, Echad Yisrael, Baruch Shemo Adonai.
Hello and welcome. You're here tonight watching Answers for Our Time with Jessica Knock, Shane Knock, and our guest, Chosen Few. We're so glad to be with you today. Today, the topic is about the darkness. That's what it's called. And we're going to be delving into the destroyers of the earth, all who worship this same darkness, yet the masses do not see it. Tonight, Shane and Joe, they are going to reveal this darkness and all who they worship and who and how they try to steal our hope. So thank you for joining us today. We're really happy to be with you and journey with you as always. Dr. Pigeon was traveling yesterday, and with appointments that he has today, it's just not possible for him to join us. But he sends his love to you all, and he will see you next week. So now we're going to go straight into the program, and I want to welcome my husband, Shane. Hey, Shane, welcome. It's always great to do a program with you, and shortly Joe will be joining us. So I'm just going to hand straight over to you so you've got the time to deliver as you require to.
Okay. Thanks, Jess. And thanks, guys, for the time given to us. Like we always like to start about you people. As Jessie said, this is going to be a very severe presentation tonight. It is about the darkness they worship, the destroyers of the earth. We need to know the darkness they worship. It's one area that I found myself diving into for a long period of time, and it's something that has to be revealed, something that has to be spoken about. We can't sweep these things under the carpet because, again, as a mother and father, we've got to know who's stolen the hope, who is trying their hardest to steal the hope from our children, from our spouses, from our family, from people we don't even know, from all the families of the earth. Who are these people? What is their agenda? What is their plan? What are they doing? It's one thing to know the surface, the tip of the iceberg, but we have to go under. We have to go under the tip of the iceberg and go under. We're going to play a video very shortly. First, let's just talk to a few people. Victoria, always nice to see you. Iowa, Pat D, great to see you. Shalom, shalom, Pat D. Marvin from the UK. Hey, Katz and Marvin, welcome, guys. Okay, this is about you guys. Sakia Nell, really nice to see you. Okay, I haven't seen your name before, so it was a pleasure to see you. Sanadria, always here. Okay, again, this is about your input. This is about you people and us people. This is about us moving forward, finding out more and more and more about this darkness and about the protection of Yahuwah upon us. It's not a time, look, you've heard me say it over and over again, two types of people go through the tribulation, the prepared and the unprepared. The people here, we have one job. The one job is to try and make as many as possible prepared. You cannot be prepared. You cannot be prepared unless you know their tactics, their agenda, what the first seal is, the second seal, the third seal, the approaching fourth seal. You've got to know what they have always done for around 5,000-6,000 years, what they have done from 2,000 years onwards, what they have done from the 19th century upwards. They've really turned the steam on from 1920 upwards. We have to know, guys, We have to become the prepared. Don't let any of your family or friends, don't let any of Christendom, don't let any of anyone else tell you that it's not about the darkness. It's about the grace of Yahuwah. It's about the grace of God. What it is about both of these things. It is about his protection over the holy people. You'll hear the same basic scriptures presented to you week after week as long as I sit here. We will blow the shofar of the impending danger, not of some past history movement from 2,000, 1,200 years ago, of the impending danger. That's what a watchman does. What a watchman does, Stuart, is blow the shofar. Stuart and Angela know that. They blow the shofar of the impending danger. That means the danger coming upon you, upon us. Not some past story, some irrelevant, something that's happening to your children, to those you care of, to the world, for many shall perish. Many shall perish from those who dwell upon the face of the earth. That's what 4 Ezra says. Many will perish. It's not what we say. It's not what you say. It's what the scriptures, the hidden scriptures, the open scriptures. It's what the prophetic books say. Many will perish from those that dwell upon the face of the earth, but I shall save a grape from a great cluster. I will save a drop from a wave, and I shall save Yahuwah. I shall save a small plant from a great forest. You have to be that small plant. You have to be prepared. You have to be that one single drop, Jesse, that one single drop that Yahuwah is going to protect with the covering, the shadow of the covering of his wings, and lead us out to the wilderness when the crunch comes. When the crunch comes, we have to be prepared. I refuse to be unprepared. I refuse for my 3 little kiddies. I refuse for my wife. I refuse for you to be unprepared. We have to be prepared, and for that we have to know the level of darkness they operate from. The destroyers of the earth. That's what they are. The destroyers of the earth. Now, Chosen Few is going to join us in about 15 minutes' time. We're not just going to talk about the satanic music industry. We're going to show you what they do, who they are, what they are doing, what they have done. They are everywhere. They're all in it together. Now, this first video, it goes for, I think, about 14 minutes, Jesse. Is that right?
Yeah, which one do you want?
Reverse speech. Don't put it on just yet.
Right.
It comes with a very strict warning. Before we go any further, it's just a special birthday day to Stuart's wife, Angela.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, it's her birthday today. She just made it. She just made it by 2 days. She's born under the Chinese calendar of the year of the spring chicken. So I hope you have a special day, Angela. I really do, yeah? Why you're listening to this, I have no idea. Okay, how long does the video go for, Jesse?
When I put it on, we'll be able to tell. We can't tell without putting it on the screen.
Okay, I think it's 8 minutes long is what I think. Guys, this comes with a strict warning. What you're about to hear is what Aleister Crowley teaches all of them. Do all your talking backwards, do all your writing backwards, do all your dancing backwards, do all your music backwards. What this is residual magic. It releases a spell upon the unprepared. The unprepared, not the prepared. So this comes with a strict warning, not a strict warning that you will receive a curse, not that type of strict warning, a strict warning that you're going to hear shocking things. Now, this is from our Chinese brother called Zug Zwan, 2 Zs, Zug Zwan, Z-W-A-N. He's gone to great depths and great lengths to give us one of the most profound things I've ever heard. When I first heard this, I fell off my chair. I grabbed the kids, no matter how young they were. I said, come and listen to this. Now, we won't talk about these two people here in the UK. If you're not from the UK, you may not know who these people are. So we got to speak a little bit of double speak before Jesse plays the video. It will shock you. It comes with a strict warning. If you do not want to be scared because you do not want to be prepared, then don't watch this for the next 10 minutes. You're going to hear astonishing things from demons spoken backwards. You're going to hear it through two people, a husband and wife. In America, I got to speak in double speak. Even though this is an uncensored platform, we still got to be clever and speak in double speak. You cannot speak about these two people over here. Powerful people, married. In America, a decade and a half ago, you had a very young beauty pageant girl murdered. You know who I'm talking about. I don't even want to say her name. That shook America. Over here in the UK was the most famous killing of a young child. You're going to hear two people. Look at the words spoken in reverse. Listen to what they project forward, and then you will read Sug Swan's reverse speech analysis of it. It comes with a disclaimer at the front. Okay, Jesse, now you've been warned, guys. You've been warned. Do not drift off. If you're prepared to stay and listen to this, do not drift off for the next 8 or 10 minutes. Hold on.
There were samples of DNA from the car which are so mixed up. Which are so mixed up, at least 5 different peoples. So heeft me het nou ziel it. So heeft me het nou ziel it. So heeft me het nou ziel it. No one is asked to see any of my text messages. There is no way there were 16 messages on the day, or even, the day after. The day after we got hundreds of text messages.
Sherry hardly ever sends text messages until after Madeline was taken.
But did you know Robert Murat?
I'm not going to comment on that. I'm not anymore. Snuggling back. I'm not anymore. Snuggling back. I'm not anymore. Snuggling back.
We're trying to reach that person who knows something, and there is somebody who knows something, not the person who's taken Madeline, but the person on the periphery
And that might just be a colleague of the person, a neighbour, a family. You know, this person, the abductor, has got a mother, a brother, a cousin, they're part of a family.
This is the first time that you give us a big interview, not being Arguidos since then. So now I feel free to ask you this directly. How can you explain the coincidence of the scent of cadaver felt by British and not Portuguese dogs?
Sandra, maybe you should be asking the judiciary because they've examined all this.
But don't you have an explanation
we're
for
obviously
that?
Madeline's mum and dad, and we're desperate for people to help us find Madeline, which is why we're here today.
So you don't have any explanation for that?
Ask the dogs, Sandra.
Ask the dogs. No, Jerry. Now I think that I feel free to ask you.
There's not a spot that's happening. There's not a spot that's happening. There's not a spot that's happening.
Don't you feel free to answer me?
I can tell you that we've obviously looked at evidence about cadaver dogs and they're incredibly unreliable.
Unreliable.
Ja, maar nog heel bedrijf nu in het spoor. Ja, dat is niet de weg. Dat is op uw video is niet. Ja, maar nog heel bedrijf nu in het spoor. Ja, dat is niet de weg. Dat is op uw video is niet. Ja, maar nog heel bedrijf nu in het spoor. Ja, dat is niet de weg. Dat is op uw video is niet.
Can I ask you, Jerry, if you personally know Mr. Gordon Brown, the Prime Minister?
No, and we've never met Gordon Brown. We've spoken to him once on the phone several weeks after Madeline was abducted. I'd ask you with this. I'd ask you with this. I'd ask you with this. Good, ordinary people want to help find an innocent missing child. And that's what happened. Clearly there was a huge amount of media coverage. Despite there being so much we wish to say, we are unable to do so, except to say this. We have played no part in the disappearance. Pontefa, heal. Pontefa, heal. Pontefa, heal. And the disappearance of our lovely daughter, Madeline. Let's talk here from River. Let's talk here from River. Let's talk here from River. The clear thing at the minute is there is no evidence that Madeline has been seriously harmed. Anyone who knows us knows that we would never do anything to hurt any of our children. Revenue it was on. Revenue it was on. Revenue it was on.
So for you it was strange that they didn't wake up?
I mean, it was concerning, but
I suppose you're not normally in that circumstance, so there's not normally a lot of noise.
Because I presume that you were shouting, that there was a lot of noise inside the apartment.
There was a lot of noise, but you know, subsequently, and you look at other times and you think, how does someone not wake up during that? Yes, dat ik alleen lucht was mij. Yes, dat ik alleen lucht was mij. Yes, dat ik alleen lucht was mij.
Wow, wow, wow. This is who they worship, guys. This is who they all worship, the destroyers of the earth. You can't stand before darkness and worship that darkness without evil Ruach entering the body. Now, this is what I do. What you're seeing there is what I do. What I study, and I tell you it drains you. It upsets you. It physically drains you. Stuart will put in who the billionaire was. Stuart put it in a bit of code. Only the world's most famous person's grandson is who the billionaire who she got nervous that night. We'll say no more about that. Yeah. Excuse the language there. I can't mess with a tape that's been prepared for us. I cannot do that. That's why it was the letter was taken out, but it had to be said that way. So please forgive that. We're not in the habit of ever having words like that on there, but sometimes something which is a genius work cannot be touched. So please understand that with that. Okay, look, in 2 minutes' time, we're going to bring on Chosen Few. It's just what Aleister Crowley teaches. They all speak in reverse. Who are part of the darkness. They all do their music in reverse. They all do their dancing in reverse. They all write down their stories in reverse. This is all the gobbledygook that you read through Harry Potter. This is all the gobbledygook that you read through any book that you can name, names that you've never heard before. You look at it, you study it, you investigate it, you research it, and you see that they all worship the same darkness together. Just going to touch on two things. We're not going to talk about the norm. We're not going to talk about the norm. We're going to go somewhere where maybe you haven't been before, but I'll just start with the norm. And the norm is Aleister Crowley, Boleskine House, Loch Ness, the famous Loch Ness Monster, Scotland. Aleister Crowley owned Boleskine House, bought by Jimmy Page of Led Zeppelin. So we'll quickly start just with Led Zeppelin, then we'll bring on Chosen Few. Led Zeppelin 4, Stairway to Heaven. Yeah, but do you know what it says backwards? Stairway to Heaven played backwards. It says, he will take you out to the tool shed and show you pain. Now, why is that backwards? You can saw backwards reverse speech there. Why is that backwards in Stairway to Heaven, Led Zeppelin 4? It's because the tool shed and the pain correspond with something that they all worship together. Now, where is the tool shed? The tool shed is out the back of Aleister Crowley's house, out of the back of Jimmy Page's house, Boleskine House, Loch Ness, Scotland. That's where the tool shed is. The ritual room out the back. And he, as in he will show you pain, he is, well, you know who he is. Hasatan, Hayel, the Howler. He will show you pain. They're talking about the rituals that Aleister Crowley and Jimmy Page and the rest of them, it was owned in between Crowley and Page. It was owned by a lord. The rituals that they went through, the rituals that they sacrificed, their lives they took, the destroyers of the earth, the lives that they took, that's the pain. He will show you pain. He'll take you to the tool shed and he will show you pain. That's what it means. Hidden in plain sight for all of us. Jimmy Page, yeah? The symbol he has on all his uniforms that he wears on stage, on all his records. On the records, on Led Zeppelin 4, so either Led Zeppelin 3 or Led Zeppelin 4, it has engraved on the vinyl. On the vinyl that spins around, right where the hole is, where you place the needle, where you place the record down, right around the outside of that, just where the hole is. It has these words, do what thou wilt. Do what thou wilt. You know where that comes from, Crowley. Engraved in every single pressing of that record. It has to be Led Zeppelin 3, no, Led Zeppelin 4 because it's Stairway to Heaven. Residual magic to release a broadcasting spell upon the unprepared. The unprepared. This is what they've done to us. Many of us have this record. Many of us here had this record at one stage. That's the whole idea of that record, spinning around at 33 1/3 revs per minute. 33 1/3 revs per minute. Why didn't they make it 38? Why didn't they make it 29? Why didn't they make it 48? It had to be 33 1/3 revs per minute. The symbol he wears, Zoso, Z-O-S-O. Some say Z-O-F-O. It's a strange letter, the S and the F. It's Zoso. It's embroidered on his thigh. It's on all his records, Zoso. Now, no one in the world knows what that means. Jimmy Page, only spoke of that. He was asked over and over again, what does it mean? And he goes, I cannot tell you, otherwise I will die. One night he was drunk and he blabbed it to Robert Plant. Robert Plant was drunk. The next morning, Plant forgot all about it and asked, what does it mean again? And Jimmy Page says, I will never speak it again. But if you investigate, if you research tirelessly, year after agonizing year, let it drain you and find the darkness that they worship, you will find that Zoso means son of 666. Jimmy Page is telling you exactly who he is, son of 666. Now, who is 666? Well, we all know it's Hayel the Howler, Hasatan, but it's also the name given to Aleister Crowley. The Beast. He's known as the Beast, 666. You know that. The Beast, 666. So Jimmy Page is telling you, hidden in plain sight, that he doesn't want anyone to know that he's the son of 666. The son of Hasatan, the son, maybe, of Crowley, who died in 1947. DNA's been kept for a long time. And now we're going to go deeper into more of who they worship. But first, we want to bring on our very expert guest presenter, all the way from the beautiful Cook Islands. We want to welcome Chosen Few. Chosen Few, we really were excited by your video last night. It was so great for someone of your caliber to take us deep into the Nephilim of the Solomons, Hawaiian Islands, of the New Zealand Islands, of the Cook Islands, of Micro Indonesia. You took us there and you showed us the videos of giants being buried down. This just blew us away. I mean, there's no one down our neck of the woods. I come from the Southern Hemisphere, Australia. There's no one down there who is doing this, investigating this, researching this, but you are. So Chosen Few, Joe, we here want to welcome you and say that you will just take this any direction you want to, any direction, any path you want to lead down, you just take it down, and I'll swing it back to what I want to talk about. We're going to talk about, to start with, for me, it's the songs, the bands, the reverse speech, but you will take it any way you want to. So Chosen Few, Joe, welcome to our platform. We can't wait, mate. We can't wait.
Thank you very much, Shane. Thank you, Jessica. I appreciate you so much. And it's truly an honor and a blessing to expose the weapons of the enemy. And we battle not against flesh and blood, but against powers in high places. And yeah, I'd like to, before we get into the music industry, I'd like to, build a foundation of the disembodied spirits of the drowned Nephilim. Okay. So we know in Genesis chapter 6, I'll just get straight into it. The Benai Elohim, the sons of God, the fallen angels, did pharmakia. They took data from the woman of man, and they created their literal and spiritual children, the children of the wicked one. And we know that Lucifer, Hasatan, he likes to mimic, and we all know this. And God himself, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, took data from Adam to create woman. We see this mimicking in Genesis chapter 6. Pharmakia, sorcery, that the fallen angels did. And they created this alien or degenerate plant that's not supposed to be in God's creation. It's alien to him. Hence the reason why he flooded them out. Hence the reason why the fire and brimstone came upon the days of Lot. Okay, so the Bible is riddled with stories about coming against the tears. But when these giants, these men of renown, heroes of old, when their body dies, where does their spirit go? Because they're from both worlds. They're from both dimensions. They're half angel and half human. In the book of Luke, chapter 11, verse 24, quote, it says, when the unclean spirit is gone out of a man, he walketh through dry places, seeking rest, and finding none, he saith, I will return unto my house whence I came out. So when he's referring to dry places, he's referring to the flood, because they were flooded out. And these disembodied spirits, they used to have mortal bodies, giants, very strong. And people used to worship these giants, not just because of their height, but mainly because they had knowledge that came from another dimension, because their makers came from another dimensions. Benai Elohim. So these spirits, I believe, they are called demons. And these demons want worship, like they did when they had these mortal bodies back in those days, or pre-flood. The further you go back, the stronger the spirit, the stronger the demon. They call the Satanics or the Gothics, they call them the old ones. Okay. And musicians, movie stars, or even a president, someone of great influence on the earth like Oprah, would summon in these spirits of old, the spirits of the disembodied Nephilim, to assert power, to assert worship from you and I. So building that foundation before we dive heavily into the music industry, we can understand from a biblical point of view why they are channeling in these old spirits to be worshipped again. And I've got some lyrics that I would like to just point out. Rihanna, one of her songs called Disturbia, it goes on to say, it's a thief in the night to come and grab you. Okay? Think disembodied spirits. Okay? It's a thief in the night to come and grab you. It can creep up inside you and consume you. So this is taking up shop in the house. It can creep up inside you and consume you. A disease of the mind, it can control you. It's too close for comfort. Okay, Rihanna's other song called Umbrella. Quote, it goes on to say, these fancy things will never come in between. You're a part of my entity, a spirit, here for infinity. When the war has took its part,
Mm.
when the world has dealt its cards, if the hand is hard, together will mend your heart.
Yeah.
Because when the sun shines, we'll shine together. Told you I'll be here forever. Said I'll always be your friend. Here it is. Took an oath. That's OTO. Took an oath. I'm sticking it out to the end. Okay. So again, when these musicians, they have to go through the OTO organization, which stands for Ordi Templi Orientis. It's a fraternal order for rich folk. And they have to display where their worship is going to on their music videos, on
That's
their
right, Joe.
album covers. They do the 666, they do the one eye, the all-seeing eye, the eye that makes you like a god, the eye of Horus, the eye that if you eat of it, you know, you will become like a god. Okay, going back to the Garden of Eden. Okay, in Chris Brown's song, okay, I'll just quote some lyrics in here. This one called Fallen Angel. If I could take a trip to outer space, she would be the one. I will see when I get to heaven's gate, she would welcome me with her arms. Open wide and smile, will shadow me brighter than the sun. She hasn't had a fair chance. Okay, this is Chris Brown singing about the fallen angels, because Gothic Satanists and many occultists, they believe that Satan was misjudged and unfairly judged and kicked out of heaven. So in their songs, you will see that they have remorse for the devil, and through their music and brainwashing people, they want you also to have remorse for the devil. Okay, she hasn't had a fair chance, so I'll give her one. Let me tell you who she is. Yeah, she's a fallen angel sent from heaven up above. She's a fallen angel waiting for me to love her. Okay, Michael Jackson did a song called, I think it's Blame It on the Boogie. Yeah, Blame It on the Boogie. Quote, he goes on to sing, this magic music moves me. Aleister Crowley teaches black magic. Okay, this magic music moves me. That dirty, filthy rhythm grooves me. The devil's got in tune. Okay, so they've channeled in an old spirit, a disembodied spirit of a Nephilim that roams the earth looking for a vessel where he can insert power and influence, which in turn wants worship from you and I.
Yeah.
If you got thousands of people at a concert chanting your name, the Nephilim has found its place. So yeah, that's my thing.
You know, Joe, that's so right. You touched on three things there that we will touch that you don't know what I'm talking about, and you touched on three things there. I want to thank you for that. You are so right. Look, guys, we need to understand what Chosen Few just said, is that they are all in this together. That's why they are number one. That's why they're number one. Now, I'll just take this anywhere. There's two amazing live chats here that I just want to read. Okay. You can name you heard us say it once before, you can name every entertainer that you know, every movie star, every entertainer that you know, and we will show you what they are part of, the covenant that they are part of. They have sold their souls. That is the price. The price they have to pay is far deeper than that. But no entertainer, no movie star, no rock star, no pop star. No one can be up there. And I'm not talking way up there. I'm just talking up there. If you're a character actor, that can be different. If you're an extra, that's totally different in a movie. But if you are a known character actor, and if you are a main star of any movie, any time in the period of Hollywood, then you are part of this club. It is a very big club, and you and I, Joe, we're not invited to it, nor is Marvin and Kat. And there's just two great live chats here. One from Stuart. Okay, we're going to speak these in codes, guys. Okay, I just want to read Stuart. Well done, mate. Well done. How many of you know what the Red Shoes and the Red Shoe Club? It's a big club, guys, and we're not invited in it. That the Pope wears are made of. What do you know that the Red Shoe Club that the Pope wears are made of? And it doesn't leave much imagination, people. If you don't know what the Red Shoe Club is, well, let me tell you, it ain't leather and it ain't a dye. It's the color of blood and it's a skin. Do your own research, do your own investigation, understand a double speak that we sometimes have to talk. Yeah. Sure, just put it up there. Who do they ritual? Who do they remove? Who do they take from the streets? Hundreds of thousands each year and ritual, just so they can have a bigger house, a bigger car, a bigger life, a bigger wife. I just can't get my head around that. I really can't. This is what they promise. If you listen carefully, if you study carefully two covenants, the secret covenant of the Jesuits and the secret covenant of the Illuminati, if you listen carefully and studied it and truly studied the secret covenant of Illuminati, you will see what the initiates are the Masons. The initiates are the Illuminati. They're not the bloodlines. They're the ones below the bloodlines. The slaves to the Illuminati. They promised one thing. The fallen angel that Joe talked about promises these initiates one thing. Promised them that they shall live forever, up to 500 years. That's what the ones further up the ladder goes. Two live chats, Joe. We just read Stuart's one. A great one comes through from, all I got here is Facebook user. I understand why you don't want to put your name there, and I'm going to read this very carefully. It blew me away. You know the video we just watched on reverse speech. You know who the two people are. I don't want to say the names. Oh, there it is. At the time of the MCC stuff, this is the Facebook user, we have moved very close to Ullapool, northwest Scotland, where the auntie of MNC lived. We knew there was much more to the official story. Be aware that a sort of Scottish prophetic ministry for Scotland had its centre at Altnagar, Carnegie's hunting lodge. Hunting lodge. Why do you think they hunt there? And you're all wearing red shoes, guys. You are spot on. I can't go into detail here, but we are joining the dots exactly. Contact me through TW if you need more info. The answer is yes, yes, and yes. The hunting party. The black nobility have their royal grounds, the 13 black nobility, the rulers of the earth, the destroyers of the earth. One, Beatrice, Netherlands, hunting party. That's what the film The Hunger Games is based on. The Hunger Games is based on the hunting party that this Facebook user is trying to tell us about. This is an investigator. This is a researcher. This is what it's about. It is not about us trying to say things that might make you go, This is about not things that make you go, but these are things that make you go, what? What have they done to our children?
That's right.
Hundreds of thousands per year of these children are taken by the people that you sit and watch, the people that we all know. They all worship the same deity. They all have to pay a price to be part of that club. Let's quickly go through it, Joe. I'll just go through a quick 6 or 7 here. Black Oak, Arkansas, 70s rock group. Black Oak, Arkansas. They stand on stage and do a live version. You know how hard it is to do reverse speech live? It is quite hard. Black Oak, Arkansas, in their live song, they say something like Nanissi Dog 3 times, and then do this demonic laughter. Now, what Nanissi Dog played backwards is Satan is God. They do that in a live performance. Black Oak, Arkansas. They're part of the club that you and I are not invited to. John Denver Live. There is no such record, people. You're going to think this is bizarre. You're going to think this is stupid and bizarre. There is no such English word as a record live. It's called in concert. It should be called John Denver in concert. It should be called Glenn Campbell in concert. I've got 2,000 records here, guys. 2,000 records right here. There's 2 we're going to quickly talk about. Okay, David Bowie live, Elton John live. You name any artist you want to. Before we include everyone into this club, Joe, let's talk about 3 people very quickly who are not part of this club. 3 people. Well, I'll just finish off with John Denver live. John Denver live in quotes. What live is evil spelt backwards. Do all your music backwards. Do all your writing backwards. Do all your dancing backwards. Aleister Crowley, to the musicians, to the songwriters, to the record labels. Do all your writing backwards. John Denver live means John Denver evil. It means they have sold their soul. You go pluck out any record, Julio Iglesias, anyone that you love, Pavarotti live. It means they have sold their soul. It means Pavarotti evil. That's the whole, what's part of the price that John Denver had to pay? Well, we know the ultimate price, but this is the whole purpose of Oh God. These woeful movies called Oh God with George Burns, Oh God 1, Oh God 2. Okay, it was mockery and humiliation and ridicule of Yahuwah. That's what it was all about. It was about to show you that Yahuwah would just release you from any filth that you have in your life, because I'm here to look after you and I'm just a real idiot. That's why George Burns played Yahuwah in Oh God. John Denver, you got to pay the price, guys. You want to be part of this club, you got to pay the price. The price is your life. If not your life, it has to be your firstborn's life. Or it has to be your wife's life. Or it has to be your mother's life. That's the price. Satan demands, Hayel the Howler, Hasatan demands at life. And I will give you all these kingdoms if you just bow down and worship me. There's a price. There is a price. Let's just go quickly into a couple more, Joe, yeah? Capitol Records and Atlantic Records. Capitol Records, a round building there. You heard Dr. Pigeon say it perfectly last time. Up there is either the 5th or 6th floor, maybe a bit higher, of Capitol Records, Atlantic Records. They bring in 3 high priestess to Hasatan. And there they're given every single master tape of every single record released on the label Capitol and Atlantic. And these 3 high priestess to Hasatan, these 3 witches, take the master tape, play the tape, and do residual magic throughout that music. They put curses throughout these musics for the unprepared, not the prepared, for the unprepared. You're now prepared. You now know Capitol Records and Atlantic Records. You are now prepared. Every single record released on those 2 labels have these curses invoked, not by idiots or morons, not by wannabe witches or, little white witches in the coven. We have covens right next door to us, guys. Right next door to us, we have witches' covens. We're talking about high priestesses here with one job only, to curse the people into lust, into fornication, into captivity and bondage, into Egypt and Babylon. That's what it is all about. And who's in charge of this? Who's in charge of this is no other but Crosby, Stills and Nash. They are in charge to see that all this happens on every single record released through Capitol and Atlantic. One more, Joe, the Beatles. The Beatles manager, Sir George Martin. Now, I'll keep this very, very short. I don't like to talk about the past, and please forgive if I self-talk, but you need to know the background that I have sometimes. So I'll make this very short, about 10 seconds. I own 8 sports clubs around the world. That's what I used to own. And from that, I was bodyguards to the world's most famous people and ran a security team for the world's most famous people and the world's most famous preachers or head of security. Some of them I just looked after. Okay, some I had to protect, some I just looked after. If they just wanted a bottle of cognac, I'd have to bring them cognac. Whatever they wanted, I had to bring it to them. The most evilest people I come from where I lived in the Great Barrier Reef, Queensland, very close to where Joe is, Cook Islands, beautiful Cook Island, Joe. Great Barrier Reef, Hamilton Island. Only 4 houses are allowed to be built on that island. I had one of my sports clubs there. The 4 houses were owned by the Beatles, George Harrison, Dire Straits, Mark Knopfler, the Formula One racing champion Jackie Stewart, and the world snooker champion from the 70s, Eddie Cholton. They're the only 4 people allowed to live there with houses. So George Martin, the famous Sir George Martin, the famous record producer of the Beatles, came along. I've had a great displeasure to look after some extremely evil people. He's the most evilest man I've ever met in my life. And this is what we've been listening to all our life. Now, what he did was he took the music of the Beatles and he puts it on 4-track. He invented this 4-track, 8-track, 16-track. He invented this method. And what he'd do, he played the music forward on the 4-track, and then he put it down. He would download that layer onto an 8-track in reverse. And then he'd download that layer onto a 16-track in reverse. And this kept on happening until you hear the reverse speech in so many of their songs, for no other reason but to curse the people playing it with residual magic. He was the most evilest person that I've ever met in my life, along with one other man, Lang Hancock. If you don't know who Lang Hancock is, he owns all of Ruach mines in Australia. That's only all the uranium mines, all the diamond mines, all the gold mines, all the silver mines, every mines that he purged. He purged from our Australian Aboriginals' lands, sacred lands. He purged it from them. Him and Sir George Martin are the 2 of the most evilest people that I have ever met. They would just make everything inside this temple of Elohim quiver. The most evilest woman that I ever met in my life was Nicole Kidman. I had to look after her through the 1988 film Dead Calm. She's hated. I knew the boom operator who made Dead Calm, the motion picture. He told me that every cast and crew of that movie detests and hates her. She is so evil. Yet I know about her bloodline, Illuminati family, and what she is all about. These people aren't selected because of their talent, guys. These people are selected in their blood because of the seed of the serpent, who their bloodline is, who their bloodline was, who their bloodline are. It is grotesque if Joe or I ever presented the layer of atrocities that these people allegedly commit. Imagine John Lennon, Joe. Imagine there's no war. This is what we hear forward. This is what the unprepared Joe hear forward. Imagine there's no war. Imagine there's no God, no religion too. Play that backwards. Play Imagine John Lennon backwards, and you will hear drop that bomb on them all. Drop the bomb on them all. Imagine there's no war. Imagine there's no God, nor religion too. Drop the bomb on them all. That's what Aleister Crowley taught them. When were these people taught this? This is when John Lennon come running, Joe, John Lennon come running out of a Hamburg cafe in 1961, where he was sitting in the back seat, the tables and chairs at the back, with his record producer in 1961 in the Hamburg cafe. And he come running out to the streets and said to I forget who he said it to, a reporter, a famous British reporter, and said, this is the exact quote that Lennon said in 1961 in Hamburg Cafe after the meeting with the record producer, the high priest of Hasatan. And Lennon said, we are going to be a band like no other, for I have just sold my soul to the devil. And he was taken to the side in that street in Hamburg and said, if you ever say that again to anyone, you will be dead. We will be a band like no other, for I have just sold my soul, and the band have just sold my soul, our souls, to the devil. That's why they were a band like no other. It's all one big ploy, is to usurp all the integrity and character out of our children. That's our generation, Joe. Our generation. We were the children then. To usurp all the morals and character and the spiritual awareness of Yahuwah and Yahusha that we may or may not have had, and to lead us down a path of the lust of the eyes, the lust of the flesh, and a bigger car and a bigger house and a bigger life and a bigger wife. It goes on and on. It's a big club, and we're not invited to it.
Good.
Joe, you jump in whenever you want to, mate. Don't worry about interrupting me, yeah? I'm just going to go on a roll, and you just go on a roll. Here's one record, Joe. Okay, I know that Pat D from Iowa will love this, yeah?
Ah, yeah.
David Bowie, Ziggy
David
Stardust,
Bowie.
and Spiders of Mars. Okay, now look at this, guys. There's only one thing on show. This is what they do. This is how they do their residual magic. Make no mistake what residual magic is. We just taught you. It is to usurp your character, your integrity. It's to take every spiritual awareness away from you. It is to lead you in captivity and bondage of Egypt and Babylon. It is to take you into the lust of the eyes, the lust of the flesh. It is to destroy your relationship with Yahuwah so that you will burn in a lake of fire. This is how much they hate us. We are called insects by them. We are called Goyim insects by the Illuminati, the people, the record labels. One sign and one sign only here. Joe, you can't read that. I'm going to move that really close. Can you read? Can anyone read? Someone put it in live chat if they know what's on the front cover. One bit of writing only. On the front cover of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders of Mars. Could you read that, Joe?
Key West.
Very good. Say it again, mate.
Key West.
Very, very, very good, Joe. K West. If we looked at it carefully, which Joe can't see because it doesn't pick up too well, it's K full stop West. Kanye West. Kanye West. This record released in 1972. Kanye West. Now, how do I know it's Kanye West? Because it is my job. It's a big club, and we're not invited to it. That they worship Hasatan to destroy us, to lead us to bondage and captivity. This is how they do it. They are doing a predictive programming of someone extremely, extremely powerful. K full stop West. First song, 5 years. First song on the record. 5 years. 5 years, yeah, exactly. Residual magic, Jesse. 5 years. It was nearly to the very day when this record was released in 1972 that Kanye West was born. That's why the song's called 5 years. They plan everything. They are the seed of the serpent. They are the bloodline. They are Hasatan. Your father was a murderer from the beginning, and ye are his children. That's who they are. He was a liar and a deceiver, and ye are his children. Ye are his children. That's who the big club is. 5 years, nearly to the day Kanye West was born, 5 years after this was released in 1972. The second song, Soul Love. It's showing you what he's going to be. Soul Love. Soul like Motown. Soul as in a black singer. Soul Love. It goes on. The next songs are Starman. On the other side, the next song is called Star. We all know who the star is. That's why they're called stars. That's why they're called the rock stars and pop stars and movie stars. The word star should not be there. Just like John Denver live, it should not. It should be John Denver in concert, Neil Diamond in concert, but it's live. Evil backwards. Star, rock star. Star is after the falling star. Hasatan, Hayel, the howler, falling star. You are his children. You are his children. That's why they're called rock stars. It is particularly programming Kanye West being born 5 years nearly to the very day that record was released, that he would be a star. He would be the star, man. He would be the soul love. In 5 years' time, he will come on this earth, the seed of the serpent. Now, I talked about, let's not include everyone in this club, Joe, hey? Let's leave a couple of good guys. I know right now that Sherry Pappen is probably saying, oh, Shane, but I love John Denver. I love Neil Diamond. I'm only kidding, Sherry. Okay. Okay, let's leave three. Joe, let's take three out of this club. It's a big club, but we're not invited to it. Neither of these guys. Rodriguez. Neither are these guys. They are not part of their club. Some of you may not even know who Rodriguez is. I had this since I was 16, 1974. This record in my hand is a non-record. It's an Australian record made by Blue Goose. Blue Goose was made by the fan of Rodriguez. This is the greatest, most beautiful LP ever made, along with Van der Man's Astral Weeks. I want you to put your favorite LP in a live chat, guys. Just go for it, yeah? This is stunningly beautiful, but he would not join the club, Joe. He would not join the club. He makes his first record, Cold Fact. He makes his second record, Coming From Reality, which is even better than Cold Facts. And then the Australian guy released this, the best songs from Cold Fact, Coming From Reality, and put 3 previously unreleased songs and just simply called it Rodriguez at his best. It's not the CD, Rodriguez at his best. This is the Australian copy I've had since I was 16, since 1974. This copy here is 1977. He would not join the club, nor would Pat Boone join the club. Pat joined, removed from Hollywood, because he would not join the club. One of the most loved singers and actors in America all of a sudden goes into hiding because he would not simply join the Illuminati. And I'll just throw out one other name, Joe, one other name that maybe did not join that club, and that's Leon Russell. Leon Russell with the songs Holy Trinity. Buried around 2015, 2016, I think it was, in a Southern Baptist church, who will come out with a T-shirt saying Holy Trinity. That means nothing. That means nothing. They praise me with the lips, but the heart is far from me. But Leon Russell was removed from the music industry. These are the only 3 people that I have found that we all know, okay, who are not part of that club. Joe, one more thing and you jump in wherever you want to. The 27 club. What club am I talking about? The 27 club. No one says it's true. Only a few say it's true. It is true. It is true. The 27 club. That means you're dead at the age of 27, guys. Hendrix. Let's just go through the list. So many. Hendrix dead at 27. This is the price Jimi Hendrix had to pay. Your life. Your life. Hasatan wants your life, and I'll give you all the lust of the eyes, lust of the flesh. I'll take you up to the top of the kingdoms and show you all the kingdoms of the earth, and they shall be all of yours. You see, Yahusha said, get away from me, Hasatan. And the only difference is these kings of the earth took the deal, when as Yahusha just pushed and flicked the devil away. He knew what seed he was. He knew he belonged to his father Yahuwah. But these singers, no. They're the seed of the serpent. Jimi Hendrix dead at 27. Janis Joplin dead at 27. Jim Morrison dead at 27. Jim Morrison, my goodness, you heard what Dr. Pigeon said last week about the father. Here's who the father was. The father Admiral Morrison. Jim Morrison grew up in the army bases and naval bases of America, moved around all around the place by his father. His father, Admiral Morrison, was in charge of the MK Ultra Monarch programming. Jim Morrison was just one of his clients. That's what it's all about. That's how they keep these people under control, under their spell. That's why all these names, Joe, are called broadcast. They're casting a broad spell. That's why they call it their craft. It's their craft. Their craft is acting. Craft, because they're witches. They all belong to the coven. They are all satanic Illuminati. That's why it's called program. What program are you going to watch tonight? Because they're programming us. You heard Joe say it earlier on, socially engineering, mind controlling us. Over here, the MK Ultra mind control is done at the Tavistock Institute, Chatham House. Me and Jesse and our kids came from Chatham. Tavistock Institute is where the US military carries out their mind control on all the drills that we watch at the BBC and Sky and Fox and ABC and NBC and CBS and Channel 7, Joe, Channel 9, Channel 10, ABC Australia. All the witch shrill newsreaders who are casting a broad spell, casting a broad spell over us, programming us, socially engineering us, telling us what's happening, what's not happening. Amy Winehouse, dead at 27. Brian Jones, the original leader and founder, the brains behind the Rolling Stones, murdered at 27 in his own swimming pool. The price the Rolling Stones gladly paid. Robert Johnson, dead at 27. The Blues, the founding member of Grateful Dead. Canned Heat guitarist Al Wilson. The Stooge, Iggy Pop's in the Stooge. The Stooge founder, dead at 27. The Price, who they call the Stooges. They called Iggy Pop and the Stooges the inventors of punk music. That's what they call them. To me, it was the Saints, a Sydney band. They go way back. Invented punk music. That's just a personal opinion there, yeah? Badfinger, Pete Ham. Badfinger, Pete Ham, dead at 27. Big Star, Chris Bell, Big Star. Now, what does that name mean, guys? Who's the big star? Who's the big fallen star? The little god of this world. Hasatan. That's what Big Star is named after. Chris Bell, dead at 27 from Big Star. Hotel California. We're going back to what Stuart and Angela shared with us, Joe. Hotel California. It ain't about the Eagles. It ain't about a song where they just swap their partners and fornicate. It's not about that. Hotel California, the Eagles, it is where they carry out the satanic rituals hidden in plain sight. The satanic rituals of these for the music industry Illuminati. That's what that song's all about. Played all over the world, every day on every station. You can't get away from that. It burns me, Joe. It burns me inside to think of the children ritual for these seed of the serpent. My goodness. Sergeant Pepper, the Beatles. Sergeant Pepper is Sergeant Pepper Lonely Hearts Club Band. Sergeant Pepper is no other than Aleister Crowley. That's who Sergeant Pepper is. Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. It ain't about LSD, guys. Lucy in the Sky, there's always two stories put out there. One just to divert us, and the one that you have to investigate and research and find out for yourself through years and years of this draining work that some of us do. Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds is all about Ezekiel 28. Joe, I just want to read 6 verses for the people. I want to bring this back to the scriptures. This is what the Beatles were singing about with Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. It's Lucy is the word for Lucifer. Jerome's little word, 3rd century Jerome. His little word for Hasatan, Lucifer. Lucifer in the air with diamonds and sapphires and onyx. That's what Lucy in. No. His little son Julian never came home from play school with a picture and they stuck it up on the fridge that said Lucy in the Sky of Diamonds. No. It's about Lucifer from Ezekiel 28. Let's just look at it. I'm reading from the Sefer. Ezekiel 28, verse 11. This is Yahuwah speaking. This is what Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds is all about. Moreover, Ezekiel 28, verse 11 onwards. 11 to 19. Burns my blood, guys. It burns my blood in who they worship. Moreover, the word of Yahuwah came unto me, Ezekiel was saying, son of Adam, set up a lamentation upon the king of Zor, the king of Tyre. When you read about the king of Tyre, you're reading about Hasatan. That's who the king of Tyre is in these prophetic books. And saying to him, thus says Adonai Yahuwah, you sealed up the sum full of wisdom and perfect in beauty. You have been in Eden, the garden of Elohim. Every precious stone was your covering, the sardis, the topaz, and the diamond, the beryl, the onyx, and the jasper, the sapphire, the emerald, and the carbuncle, the gold and workmanship of your king of Tyre, Hasatan, the workmanship of your tabrets and your pipes, music, was prepared in you in the day that you were created by Yahuwah. He's just a created being, just like us. He's just a created being. And I have set you so. You were upon the holy mountains of Elohim. You have walked up and down in the midst of the stones of fire. Verse 15. You were perfect in your ways, Hasatan, from the day that you were created till iniquity was found in you by the multitude of your merchandise. By the multitude of your merchandise. The records, the movies, whatever he deals in, whatever he usurps and controls and takes over, and particularly programs to us and our children, people of the world. Your merchandise has filled the midst of you with violence. There's your rituals. It's filled you with violence. There's your rituals. And you have sinned. Therefore, I will, this is speaking prophetically about Hasatan, not in the past, prophetically. I will cast you as profane out of the mountains of Elohim, and I will, not have, will destroy you, O covering cherub, from the midst of the stones of fire. Your heart was lifted up because of your beauty. You have corrupted your wisdom by reason of your brightness. That's why he's called the angel of light. The covering cherub, by the beauty and wisdom of the reason of your brightness. I will cast you to the ground. I will lay you before kings that you may behold you, that they may behold you. You have defiled your sanctuaries by the multitude of your iniquities, by the iniquities of your traffic. That's how busy he's been. By the sins of your traffic, by the sins of your work. By you going here and there, walking up and down in stones of fire everywhere throughout the face of the earth. Therefore, I will bring forth a fire from the midst of you. It shall devour you, and I will bring you to ashes upon the earth. Now listen carefully. In the sight of all them that behold you. Last verse. And they that know you among the people shall be astonished at you. You shall be a terror, and never shall you be anymore. These are those who have sold their souls that Yahuwah was talking about. Them that know you, Hasatan, them that know you, them that have sold their souls to you, them that worship you on their covenant, whatever level they may be on, they will see you as a terror. You'll be brought to ashes. That's the prophetic ending of Hasatan. You want to be part of that club, guys? Well, not me, not Joe, not Jesse. We won't be part of that club. Joe, please just jump in for a while, and then I'll come back and video.
So excellent. Yeah, Shane, thank you. You know, the word says, what you sow, you reap. There are businesses in the cooking industry. There are businesses in the carpentry industry. There are many businesses. The music and the movie industry is in the soul business to corrupt mankind. Over 15,000 children here in New Zealand are on antidepressants.
Yeah.
15,000 for a very small population. That's huge for children only. This is just the children. Antidepressants. Because what you sow, you reap. The music industry and the Hollywood industry are in the sowing business to corrupt our children. They are after our children. And we got to protect them at all costs. We got to lay the foundations. As for this household, shall serve the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We have to put our foot down. Now, my daughter, she's coming into their teenage stage, 13, and she's been brought up in the ways of God, and the world is slowly eating her. And I know she's doing things that I've always taught her not to do, but she does it in secret. She finds it amusing. She finds it exciting. And we've all been the product of this world. To why we had to be born again, to come away from. We were a filthy CD. When we were born in iniquity, we inherited the scratch on our CD because of the sin of Adam. Every human being, we're born with that scratch. We've all been indoctrinated from social media, education, schooling systems. And it's really, we've downloaded all this nonsense of witchery, spells through the system. And it turned us into emotional wrecking balls. Because what you sow, what you see, what goes through here and what goes in there makes you a rotten fruit. And we've all been the product of that. And they're after our kids. And we have to do our best to protect them. And it's very serious. We've got one of the highest rates of suicide, crime, suicide. Everything's on the rise. Because, Shane, they're not doing it so much in a backward order anymore. They're bold. They're doing it forward. We live in an age where they've stretched the envelope, where they could do it in secret, doing backmasking and printing messages be below the threshold of our brains, which automatically decodes their messages, that turns us into rotten fruit, to now doing it forward. Because like the boiling frog scenario, because the enemy just doesn't come out of the gate and announces something that strictly opposes what the world. He does it subtly and gradually, stretching the envelope. And everything's on the rise because going through here and in here. The music industry and the Hollywood industry are in the soul business, collecting souls, reaping, sowing. And I did a parable on my first video, part 1, doing a parable of using Adam as the master copy CD for humanity. And that song was perfect prior to him eating off the forbidden tree. And the outcome of eating off the forbidden tree, Adam, which was the master copy for humanity, bore a scratch on that CD. And that ever since then, every human being bore that scratch. We're dead unto Messiah. We are made alive unto him through the gospel.
Mm.
The first Adam had the scratch. The second and last Adam, which is the Messiah, which is known that has a quickening spirit. A quickening spirit means to recover. To recover what? The scratch of the first Adam. So using the CD parable or songs, it's a beautiful parable to understand the gospel. And it's also a great understanding to see how Satanists do the opposite, using that same parable. And so I've
yeah. Thank you, Joe. Thank you. You just jump in. Look, you can see me speaking. Like, you just jump in. Like I said it before, don't worry about if I'm mid-flow. Jesse, I want the viewers to watch this 2-minute video on the Shriners, the 33rd degree Masons. Now, guys, again, I try to bring Joe and I and Jesse, we try and bring you to the bottom line. The bottom line is, it's a big club, but we're not invited. Now, that's why they hide behind all their good deeds. Okay, it's all fronts. You know that. I'm preaching to the choir here. The Shriners. The Shriners are the 30th degree, the 31st degree, the 32nd degree, the 33rd degree. Now, the 33rd degree is not the highest Mason. The 33rd degree is, as far as I know, is an honorary position. So, therefore, the 32nd degree in that first 33rd degrees, the 32nd degree is the true high position. Now, there is not, you heard me say it last time. Be prepared, be prepared, be prepared. There is not 33 degrees of Freemasonry. There are 111 degrees. They are the initiates. The initiates. These are the ones they look to. These are the ones that the bloodlines look to see who they can use to usurp the world for their well-being. And they elevate them. Now, apparently, every Mason is told there's only 3 levels: apprentice, intermediate, master. 1, 2, and 3. Once you get to the top of the 3rd Masons, the 3rd level, they say, well, we can use this guy. We can use this guy. They invite you into the secret society of the 4th and 5th level. Once you get to the top of the 5th and you're still working very well for them, and they want what your gifting is, they invite you into the next secret level, telling you there's only 2 more levels, and you're at the heights. That's the 6th and the 7th level. It goes up 2 by 2, Joe. 2 by 2, the secret societies going up. They lie to all the initiatives from day one. There's only 3 degrees, guys. Now there's 5. Now there's 7. Okay, do you actually think people like John Wayne, a Shriner, 33rd degree Mason, do you actually think this guy who you are about to see is actually the highest Mason in the world? No, it's just a platform, a ladder. That's all it is. The 72 steps of Solomon, for them to pull out who they really want to use for their technology genius, their chemical genius, their pharmakeia genius, their financial genius, whatever sphere they want to lead these Masons down, the entertaining genius. Look at all your presenters. Look at all your newsreaders. Look at all your actors like Johnny Depp, Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. Look at them all. Look at the guy just arrested, Kevin Spacey. All of them, they've all got the gold 33 degree Masonic ring on, all your basketball stars, because they're using them. They're taking them to the highest. Do you actually think John Wayne and Kevin Spacey and Johnny Depp are the highest Masons in the world? No, no, and no. It's just, yes, Facebook user. Yes, yes, and yes, Billy Graham. On one of these, I have it written down here, on one of these small brochures, Joe, is a small Bible brochure, and inside is the Masonic brochure, and it talks about on the inside front cover, it says the 33-degree level Masons, and from all the names there with John Wayne and Theodore Roosevelt, and you know them all, it's got Billy Graham. Billy Graham was incensed by that. He went back to the lodge and said, remove my name. And they couldn't remove the name because it was printed in the original copy of this brochure from the Masons. And so Billy Graham went out and bought that company, that printing company who was printing that small catalog brochure Bible, and had his own name removed. But on the first edition that I have seen, it says Billy Graham. Now, you want to know the truth about Billy Graham, guys? What pleasure does it bring me telling you this? They say this, Joe, they say this in the Illuminati covenant. Now, I want everyone to retain this and remember this. They say when who are they? Us. When the Goyim insects require a hero, we, the Illuminati, shall provide them with one. We shall provide them with our hero. That's your Greta Thunbergs. That's your Perlays. That's your Messis. That's your Renatos. They all do. You heard Joe say at the start of this presentation, they all do their symboling. They all do their symboling. As above, so below. The one eye on top of the pyramid, Hasatan's eye. They're all part of the club. When the world provides a hero, we shall provide them with one. Quickly going back before this video comes on. He ain't one. Rodriguez, unknown. Jesse and Rio and I, we saw Rodriguez 2009, about 2 months before he won the Academy Award for Best Documentary of the Year. The Academy Award for the Best Documentary, Searching for Sugarman. You want to see a beautiful video, guys, you watch Searching for Sugarman. That's his famous song, Sugarman. Rodriguez, a precious soul who would not join the Illuminati, and it destroyed his career. 2 records he had were kept in a basement in Detroit, where he comes from, an abandoned warehouse inside 300 boxes, whilst thousands of copies of Coming From Reality and Cold Fact. And the Australian guy who started up Blue Goose went and hired out that warehouse for his own business. And he said, what are these 300 boxes here? And the real estate agent says, I have no idea. And he walked over and opened the boxes, and he pulled out these records, which I have up there, but I won't pull it out. Coming From Reality and Cold Fact, just up there. And he said, I never heard of this guy. If I rent this place for 1 year, will you give me these 300 boxes of records? And the real estate agent said, these records have been in there for decades. They're yours. And that's where the genius of Rodriguez was discovered in Australia and then South Africa. And it's an African guy made Searching for Sugarman that won around the 2010-2011 Academy Award for the greatest documentary. Now, the Academy Awards are held inside what's called the biggest Freemason temple in America. But it ain't the biggest. The biggest is the New York Cathedral, Catholic Church. In their own Masonic manual, it calls the New York Cathedral the largest Freemason temple in the world. The New York Cathedral. We could go so deep with that, Joe, but we're not. Ben Affleck stands up at the Academy Award and he says this sentence. You can get it up on YouTube. You can watch it whenever you want to. Rodriguez wins the Academy Award. But guess who was not invited there to the LA Freemason temple of the Academy Awards? Rodriguez. He refused to go, but the director was there. All those associated with the movie was there, but not Rodriguez. I ain't part of this club. He wins the Academy Award, but Ben Affleck says we are going to invite our 4 new illuminaries up to the stage. He's talking about the 4 people who are now part of the club, the director of Searching for Sugarman. who are now Illuminati member, initiatives. And Rodriguez wins the Academy Award, but he ain't there because I'm not an Illuminist. I won't be part of this. But the man who made it, he went up there. He accepted the Academy Award. He got the Academy Award, and he was dead within 2 years. You want to watch a great movie that will make you cry and cry and cry. See the world's greatest songwriter, Rodriguez, stripped from us with the beauties of the world's most beautiful songs. One called Cause, as in because, just Cause, C-A-U-S-E. My goodness. It is the most beautiful song ever written, along with Van der Man's Astral Weeks. Jesse, the Shriners, the so-called puppets, the so-called face of masonry. These are the top masons in America. Now listen to who this guy calls himself and look and discern the spirits, the evil ruachs within him. Okay, sweet.
Sir.
Okay.
I'm a Christian, sir.
I'm pure and virtuous and wholesome and innocent. How can you say anything bad about me?
Sir, you need to be born again.
I am born again.
Now, did you just say that you are Lucifer?
I am Lucifer.
Okay, define Lucifer for me.
Pure, virtuous, wholesome, innocent individual that's out to help people.
Lucifer is?
Yeah.
Say that again. Lucifer is a pure, holy...
Virtuous.
Virtuous. Now, is he the Lucifer that God created?
That's the same one.
Oh, man, this is great. I'm going to put this on the internet.
Oh,
Amen.
God bless you,
Amen.
brother.
Because that's exactly what the Shriners and Masons teach, is that Lucifer is light.
No.
And you're,
what
you're
about
confirming
those hospitals?
You know what, sir? Jesus said, many will say to me on that day, Lord, Lord, we did not do these good deeds in your name. And you'll say, away from me, you workers of iniquity. I never knew you.
Jesus said it?
In Matthew chapter 5.
Mercy.
No.
That's hard to believe.
So you're a Christian and you don't know that. Actually.
No, I really am.
You are.
Because I'm pure and virtuous.
You're pure and virtuous, okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. In other words, you're perfect without Jesus, right?
No.
Okay, tell me about Jesus. Who is Jesus?
Well, he's my leader.
Is he the Son of God?
Yes, he is.
Is he the only worshipful master?
Yes.
Have you ever been called worshipful master?
No, because I've just been too busy. I've been working.
Working.
Been working to help people.
What
like
kind
you.
of work? Okay.
Get out of here.
See, this is what a Mason confesses, is that Lucifer is light. You heard it?
Excellent, Jess. Okay, excellent. You heard Joe talk about that. Okay, it's another subject that we could do a whole show on, Joe, about the demiurge, about two brothers in heaven, and the wrong brother was kicked out. Okay, now I know there's certain names there. What we are here, we are Torah followers over here, but we open this precious door to every single one of you guys. Okay, it doesn't matter. Okay, it doesn't matter. The person was real. Maybe sometimes the names are wrong, but this guy doing this video, he is an investigator, a researcher. He's there on a mission, and that's what it's about. He's on the mission to show you that Masons do not worship Yahusha. They worship Hasatan. That's his mission. Okay. I want to do one more. I want to move through really quick with this, Joe, if you don't mind. Is that okay with you? Okay. Rosemary's Baby. Now, this is important. Rosemary's Baby. Okay. Look, they control the media. Before I get to that. Okay. Media. Once before we talked about it. Media. MEDEA. Is the ancient queen of witches. All the other witches were afraid of the queen of witches, Media. That's why it's called Media, with one simple little spelling change. It's the queen of witches casting a broad spell through the programming on your television. We, the witches, are vision to you, and the vision is residual magic, and the vision that we are teller is going to lead you to captivity and bondage to Egypt and Babylon. It will put shackles around you for the rest of your life. It will curse your life, curse your children, curse your family. But we are, Joe, we are prepared. Those watching here, Catherine Hayes, beautiful. We are prepared. We are prepared. We are not the unprepared. That's who they worship. They're all in the same club. They're all in it together. Stuart Burst puts up, going way back to the black nobility. I've got to read this. I've got to mark this. Stuart and Angela. We're talking about, we've got to speak in double speak. We're talking about black nobility, monarchs that rule the world, the ones that all the initiatives worship, the ones that all the initiatives are under. That goon that you just saw there, the Shriner, 30th, 31st, 32nd, 33rd degree Masons. You think that guy rules the world? Nah. He's just a puppet. They just think they're at the top of the pyramid. The top of the pyramid is Hasatan. Underneath him is the hidden 13. Underneath them are the black nobility. Underneath them are the 13 families that rule the world. This world is split up, people. This world that we live in. Many shall perish for Ezra. Many shall perish upon those that dwell upon the face of the earth. This is their goal. This is their job, to perish us. Yahuwah is telling us what's going to happen. Be prepared. That's why we do this show. That's why Joe and I and Jesse get drained. It hurts us. The black nobility, the red shoes, the skins of the children, they all wear. Double speak. At their hunting grounds, at their Royal National Parks they all own. Princess Beatrice of the Netherlands. Hunger Games. Sandringham. Scotland. Hunting grounds. Stuart Birch, Angela put this up. There are 5 different positions that must be filled in a hunting party. Number 1, stalker. Number 3, chasers. Number 1, the finisher. That's what the movie Jennifer Lawrence, The Hunger Games, is all about. It's about the children kidnapped from the streets across all of Europe, throughout all of America, throughout Australia, throughout New Zealand, kidnapped and taken to this, throughout Canada, Victoria. Sorry, not Victoria, of course. Canada, 100 missing Indigenous children, bodies never found. They took them on a party down to the lake, never seen again. Who was there? Elizabeth, Philip. That's who was there. And these 100 precious children never seen again. The case going on for 40, 50 years. They own everything. Daniel 3:3 shows us that, Joe. Daniel 3:3 says they're all in together. Daniel 3:3 and 3:2 is talking about falling down when you hear the music, falling down when you see the image of the king. That's the beast system. That's the beast. The king represents the beast. Its system. Fall down. It tells you who falls down. It says the satraps, the governors, the princes, the magistrates. The administration, all the officials, to you it is ordered to fall down and worship the image of the king when you hear the sound of the gong, the sound of the music. That's the system. That's the club they belong to. It shows me they're all in it together. The satraps, the governors, that's your governors of California. The satrap means those in charge of the regions and states, New South Wales, Victoria, the states, the countries, the magistrates, the judges. That's why the courts are all Masonic. The officials, the administration, all the officials. The judges and magistrates represent the force, the police force. The police are only my grandfather, Chief Superintendent of Brisbane City, Joe, and Sydney Central. My grandfather, the highest Mason in Australia inside the police force. I could go on and on, but I don't talk about this because it's not about this family. It's about the people watching us. My father, a corrupt copper for half his life. Don't tell me what the policemen are not, guys. What the policemen are not, guys. They are just the protectors of the Masons. That's why the worldwide police force are there. Yes, I know we have sons and daughters. Our own son's involved in the police force here in the UK. He knows exactly what they all are. They're just protectors of the Masons. They're just the military arm of the Masons. And every now and then they come and divulge and protect a citizen just to make themselves look good, like that shrine I talked about. We do good. We do good. We serve and protect. We serve and protect. No, you don't. Media, queen of witches. Rosemary Baby. Rosemary's Baby. We're not talking about a movie, guys. We're not talking about entertainment. We're talking about who Rosemary is. John Casadenas, Mia Farrow. Mia Farrow married then to Frank Sinatra. Frank Sinatra said to Mia Farrow, his wife, do not do this movie. I warn you, do not do this movie. Frank Sinatra, very deeply involved in the Satanic Illuminati. That's why he's made Project's #1 star in the world. No matter how much he tried to destroy his own life, they all try to destroy their own life. Mia Farrow, his then wife, does the movie, directed by Roman Polanski, Sharon Tate's husband. Released the 12th of June, 1968. The release date, 1968. Remember this date, guys? The 12th of June, 1968. Rosemary Baby was released throughout America. If you don't know the story, it's quite simple. Rosemary has a baby, and the baby is the beast. The beast has a term. The beast is the Antichrist. And it's the covenant with Ruth Gordon and all the old men and women in the apartment block inside, I think it's New York, okay, are protecting Rosemary. She knows nothing about this. Her husband, John Casadenas, does know about this. It's the seed of the serpent, not John Casadenas' seed, the husband's seed. It's the seed of the serpent. She was impregnated by Satan. And she's having hallucinations, she's having nightmares, she's about to give birth, she's heavily pregnant, like Roman Constance's real life wife, Sharon Tate. And then she finds out that the coven looking after her, Ruth Gordon and company, are all the high-up satanic cults who are there to protect the seed of the serpent, the beast from being born, the Antichrist from being born. But who is Rosemary? It's not about the baby. The baby is the beast, the Antichrist. It's not about the baby. It's about the date, the 12th of June, 1968. Everything they release, every song, every major movie, it is a particular programming hidden in plain sight to show you that this is a specific date that's important to us, the Satanic Illuminati. Who is Rosemary? 3 mothers of darkness. Above them is one. Yes, above the 3 mothers of darkness at the Mothers of Darkness Castle, Château d'Ormont in Belgium. The 3 of them, we won't even touch who they are. You've heard me say it twice before, is one. Above the 3 mothers of darkness is one. This is who Rosemary is. She's called the grandmother of darkness. She rules over the hidden 13 families that own this world, own BlackRock and Vanguard, own Rothschild and Rockefeller. She rules over, she directs, she instructs. She's the mouthpiece for Hasatan. She's called the mother of the Antichrist. Her name no one in the world knows. But after years and years of investigation, the grandmother of darkness, you heard me say it once before, is called Hezabub. Hezabub. She is Rosemary. She's called by the bloodlines. She's called by all the Illuminati, the mother of the Antichrist. Rosemary's Baby is simply showing you where and when the mother shall give birth to the beast on earth as man. Never forget the date, the 12th of June, 1968. Never forget that, guys. Do your own research. Do your own investigation. How chosen few busts his guts to dig as deep as he can and drains himself to teach us. So who is 54 years old that we know? Let's just say the mother of the Antichrist has a bub. All information on her, the grandmother of darkness, is destroyed before it gets out. No one knows anything about her. No one even knows her real name. All of the families, the hidden 13, the Italians, the Maximus bloodline, all of the 13 families that we all know, Kennedy, Onassis, Rockefeller, Rothschild, Walton, so on and so on and so on and so on, trembled her. The three mothers of darkness underneath her, Gloria Vanderbilt, Barbara Bush, and possibly Madame Helena Blavatsky. All three are now dead. We don't need to talk about who the new three are. All three of these mothers of darkness tremble at the grandmother of darkness. She gives birth to the mother. She is the mother of the Antichrist. She is Semiramis. She is Nimrod's wife. She is Tammuz's mother. She is Hasatan's mother. She is the beast's mother. It's all the same. It's all the same. Semiramis, Tammuz, Nimrod. You heard Joe talk about the seed of the serpent. It's all the same. Fallen ones. Fallen ones. Big star. Big star. Hasatan. The 12th of June, 1968. So who do we know that's 54 years old right now? Who do we know? We know something about this character. Maybe a politician who's 54 years old right now. Maybe. I mean, Trump wasn't. Trump was real estate, politician. It doesn't have to be a politician. Let me throw out a couple of names. No, not for one moment am I saying that any one of these ones is the beast, is the child, the Antichrist, from the mother, the grandmother of darkness. The mother of darkness has Zabub, her child. But this is just something for you to research and investigate from the 12th of June, 1968. Who do you know who's famous, who's 54 years old? Here's a couple of names. We'll start with politicians. Scott Morrison. Joe, Scott Morrison, the ex-Prime Minister of Australia. Now here's one. Don't ever forget this name from France. Marine Le Pen, 54 years old. 10 other politicians that we all know. We won't go through there. Let's go to a couple of actors. They're all actors. All the world is a stage and we are but merely players in it. They're all actors. The Apprentice, Trump, they're all actors. Who's 54 years old that we know? They're not there because they're for their ability. They're there because they're chosen, they're seized, they're bloodlines. They've sold their soul. They paid the price. Will Smith is 54. Hugh Jackman, Wolverine, 54. Daniel Craig, the most boringest on the planet, James Bond, 54. These are just a couple of names that I am pitching out to you. Never forget the date. Rosemary from Rosemary's Baby is Hazelbub, giving birth to the beast, to the Antichrist. That's who the baby of Rosemary is. Release date, 12th of June, 1968. You look at that, you study that, you listen forever. You listen for the rest of your life, guys, on who was born around that time. It's hidden in plain sight. Joe, I'm just going to finish with this. I want to hand it back to you. Roman Polanski made that movie. Sharon Tate. Roman Polanski, the most evilest, wickedest man that you could know. Sharon Tate, you all know the story. Skim through it. Charles Manson killing, 68. Heavily pregnant throughout Roman Polanski making this film. 2 stories are released. There's always 2 stories. There's always a black and white. There's always a black and white from these media shrills. They own the media. Queen of Witches media. They own the media. They own Reuters. They own the media. Everything we watch, they own. They're casting a spell broadly upon us, programming us, social engineering, mind controlling us with what they say is the truth. 2 stories about Sharon Tate. One is that Roman Polanski had her murdered. Allegedly had his wife murdered. Why? Because Sharon Tate wanted to take her baby, about to be born in a few weeks' time, away from the satanic Illuminati of Roman Polanski and flee the marriage, flee the coven. What coven? The Rosemary's baby coven. Flee that coven that Roman Polanski is extremely high up in and go to safety. That's the one story they release. But there's a second story also. And the second story I'll just touch on is that house was occupied just 2 weeks or 2 months earlier by Doris Day. Yes, everyone loves Doris Day. The nation's sweetheart, Mary Tyler Moore, Lucille Ball, Doris Day. Lucille Ball, the high priestess to Satan in Hollywood. You heard Joe talk about opera. Opera, one of the mothers of darkness now. The 100th level Mason. Phalek of the Dragon. Oprah Winfrey. Harpo Productions is opera spelled backwards. Do all your writing backwards, opera. Do all your writings backwards. You're worshipping me, Alistair Crawley, Hasatan, Son of 666, The Beast 666. That's what's going on here with these entertainers we all know. And where are we up to? We're up to Doris Day's son. Doris Day's son promised Charles Manson a record contract, along with Brian Wilson from the Beach Boys. Promised Charles Manson, the leader of the family, in the valley that Dr. Pigeon was talking about in the Californian hills last week. Laurel Valley, where all the bands come from, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, Joni Mitchell, and on and on and on. Coven. Brian Wilson and Doris Day's son, a record producer, promised Charles Manson a record contract. I've heard the tape of Charles Manson, an unknown singer, doing one rock song, and it is surprisingly good. I have heard the tape. It is surprisingly good. Charles Manson goes back to that house, Roman Polanski, Sharon Tate's house, lived in by Doris Day's son, with Brian Wilson from the Beach Boys there. And they releg on the contract. They won't talk to Charles Manson. Charles Manson, the satanic cult, the family, goes back and plans the murder of Doris Day's son and Brian Wilson from the Beach Boys. But they are told by the Illuminati to get out of there because of what's about to happen. So they get out there, and Roman Polanski moves in with his wife. But Roman Polanski separates himself overseas in Europe to make a movie and leaves his wife alone with her guest. That is who Charles Manson's family killed. They were after Doris Day's son and Brian Wilson, Doris Day's son, who used to live there. But when they got there, which took like a month or two to organize his hits, it was the different tenants inside. Now that's the Charles Manson killings. But it's hidden from us because they control the media. They're all in the club together, guys. They're all in the same club together. And it's who they worship that really matters. The Howler. And it's what they want to do to the Goyim insects, us. And that's what the Georgia Guidestone #1 commandment is about. Maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with Gaia. In perpetual balance with nature. Nature is Gaia, Mother Earth. I heard one of the Chosen Few's video 2 weeks ago talk about that. Gaia, Mother Earth, Sophia, Columbus, Diana, Mother Earth. That's who they worship. Genocide, 8 billion. Genocide, 8 billion. For many shall perish of those that dwell on the face of the earth, and leave just 500 million as our slaves. That's the club. That's the bottom line of the club they all belong to. And what they want is our children dead. They want us dead. They want this world without Yahuwah. They want this world without you and I. They want this world with Hasatan as their deity. That's why they are the seed of the serpent. Joe, I want to hand it back to you for about the last 5 minutes. Okay? You take it down any direction that you want to.
Oh, by the way, I figured out the 777 Quabalistics book from the Beast. What's his name? Alistair Crowley.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's actually 666.
Yep.
And the 777 are actually the Hebrew Vav. So I noticed we were talking about that on our previous music exposing video we had with Stephen.
Yeah.
I just found that out last night. I thought I'll just chuck that in anyway. And it's they're trying to corrupt the forehead. See, Eve, she was motivated. Her right hand, which represents power and authority, okay, was motivated by what was in her thoughts, in her forehead. And what was in her forehead? That the fruit looked delicious. The right hand and the forehead is symbolic. We can harmonize scripture to actually come to that term quite easily. But these musicians, they've been flashing the 666 symbols through the Hollywood industry. They've been flashing that in front of the whole world for some time now. And this is where it's going to move. It's all to do with the mark of the beetroot. All this brainwashing in here to make the world so lost, compassless, so that when the mark of the beetroot comes here, okay, that mark of the beetroot would look delicious in the eyes of mankind.
Mm.
And again, they've been flashing 666 everywhere.
Yeah, yeah.
And what they want to do is actually put that patent number inside the temple of the majority. And we understand that the Microsoft patent number of the body activity, the crypto body activity system, is patented to the number 666. So it goes from outside flashing that 666 now for years to coming inside the temple. And this is everything, the music industry teaching, all the other it's all about brainwashing humanity, to make them compassless. And many took the mark of the beetroot.
Yeah.
They ran straight past Messiah, who spoke the universe into being. They ran straight past them when the fear came. And they went straight for their Messiah. Okay? They were in fear of their lives. They no longer put their trust in the Almighty God, who can protect them from whatever they want. They ran straight past Messiah. Yeah. They went straight, because at that time, was delicious. It was delicious to them to ease the fear of worry and death. And again, the music industry that we've been just talking about, it ties into the mark of the beetroot. And we can see that. We can see that. We see a great falling away at the genetic level. Yeah. Yeah. And all the information is there. So it went from 666 outside the temple, flashing us for generations, to ultimately wanting to put that patent number inside the temple, which is you and I.
Yeah.
And they wanted to brainwash and confuse the compasses, because the word of God says that God's word is a lamp unto our feet. It's our compass. It is the compass that protected us from the mark of the beetroot. Because we understood the days of Noah. We understood the real purpose of Israel. That bloodline had to be pure in order to produce the seed of the woman. It's all to do with genetics.
Yeah.
And today is all about genetics as well. Because again, coming to that music or song perfection, your genetics is 100% pure, ripe for salvation.
Yeah.
Salvation is not for any other species, but mankind that are patented from the Creator above. Our song is ripe. The data in that song, which is in our genetics, is ripe for salvation. And the enemy wants to rewrite the whole song. He wants to send a message or a virus into your CD and turn that wonderfully ripe song into a Megadeth song or an AC/DC song, totally unwritable, totally unredeemable. But when it's talking about songs, we can use the parable of the songs to understand a deeper meaning of the mark of the beetroot, a deeper meaning of Adam's role being that head master copy for mankind, that everyone will be born from him. He had the perfect song. And my encouragement to you and I, to use out there, and thank you very much, Shane. And man, you got a lot of information there. I've learned a lot from you tonight.
Yeah.
I haven't heard these names, some of the names before, but I just encourage everyone: keep your song pure, keep your genetics pure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't let them change and rewrite that song.
Exactly, Shane.
And that's my encouragement: is to persevere and endure. Absolutely nothing compares to what he has in store for you and I. Absolutely nothing. Nothing on this world. But that's my love, and that's my encouragement to edify the body. And thank you, Shane. Thank you, Jessica, for your time. Love you guys. Really appreciate you. Love your passion. And God bless you.
Thank you, Joe. And Joe, you're very precious to all of us here. Guys, we're going to finish exactly 2 minutes. Just 2 minutes. We've got one short video that runs for 1 minute. Okay, we could have gone on for 45 minutes about this subject, but we haven't. Okay, Joe, you're very precious to us. You teach us so much. Guys, in the live chat, you know, you are astonishing. There is so much activity in the live chat. There is so much incredible things there. You know, I can't even get through half of it. There's one here just showing what about today's Christian music from artists such as For King and Country, Kane, Jordan Felix, Crowder, to name a few. Exactly. Okay? They're all in it together. We're not going to touch this subject tonight about Christian music. They're all in it together. If you know they're up there, they're part of the club. Yeah. Okay, Joe, we want to thank you for what you teach us. There is no one, Jesse, isn't that right? No one around the islands, around New Zealand, around Australia, around Solomon, Tonga, Fiji, Maui, Hawaii, Micro-Indonesia, Cook Islands. There's no one standing up with the knowledge and the determination that you have, and that's what speaks volumes to us. I want to thank you for that, people. We're going to end with this, Jesse. Don't worry about the end credits, but I want you to get that one video, the Spanish TV video ready. I'll touch it, put it on in about 20 seconds. We'll end with this, guys. Your input, I've never seen your input full of so much knowledge, guys. I've never seen your input filled with so much revelational knowledge as tonight. And we, Joe and Jesse and I, want to thank you so much for that. That's what sets us on fire. Now, crisis actors. It's going to be a whole new program. Joe will come back and do it with us. Crisis actors. We have so many clips. Spanish TV, low power station. If it was on a high power station somewhere, no, it would be controlled opposition. Low power TV stations are different. I dealt with them when I owned a movie channel. We would deal with low power TV stations. It's different. They ain't part of the B system, but they get their programming through the B system. Watch these crisis actors. This is, you're going to hear Spanish. You won't speak Spanish. Maybe Felix and Cat Marvin and Cat May. Okay. Look at the ambulance pull up. Look at the two people at the start of the video put a bomb inside a car. Watch the car explode. Watch the ambulance pull up, all within 30 seconds. Watch all the crisis actors get in position. Watch them all fall down dead. Watch them all being picked up and carried to the ambulance. Watch the man waving his hand saying, terrorist bomb, help, help. Jesse, would you play this video for us and we'll say good night with that. Crisis
la
actors.
construcción de un falso atentado que persigue un mismo fin pero sin víctimas reales, manipular la opinión pública. En este vídeo verán la secuencia de la simulación que se teatraliza en un barrio cualquiera de Irak. Un hombre se acerca a un coche y coloca un artefacto explosivo en su interior. Acto seguido abandona el lugar en otro vehículo. Cuando la bomba explota, la calle está completamente vacía. No hay sangre ni víctimas mortales. Pero miren ahora, tras unos segundos de deflagración, la zona se llega de figurantes, actores caracterizados con ropas rasgadas y manchadas de rojo, para simular un atentado con numerosas víctimas mortales. En la escena hay hasta una furgoneta que hace las veces de ambulancia, todo perfectamente sincronizado para dar forma a este teatro. Unos corren a tumbarse en el suelo, otros hacen gestos de señal de petición de ayuda, todos actores. Unos metros más allá, otros figurantes parecen auxiliar a los heridos mientras el coche de la explosión arde en el fondo del plano. Todavía no han llegado las cámaras, pero ellos ya empiezan a cargar a las falsas víctimas en las ambulancias movilizadas para la ocasión. Segundos después, la calle ya se ha llenado de gente. Una vez están todos en sus puestos, el último paso es llamar a los periodistas. Estos vídeos son los llamados ataques de falsa bandera y sus fines son, como decimos, propagandísticos. El vídeo original del montante corresponde al día 30 de octubre del pasado año y tiene decenas de miles de visitas. Su puesta en escena es tan realista que incluso llegó a caer en el engaño la prestigiosa agencia de noticias Reuters y lo publicó incluso como un atentado real con 8 víctimas mortales. Como están viendo, la...
Reuters.
Wann darf ich nach Hause? Gar nicht. Den ganzen Tag. Wow.
15 seconds long. One dead body won't stay dead, trying to get up. And the producer runs on and says, stay down, but he's having a panic attack. Coronavirus. Filling out the auditorium with dead bodies. But one body doesn't want to stay dead. Crisis actors everywhere, guys. Thank you for your time. We will have Joe back very, very soon, and we'll go deep into crisis actors. You name your disaster, and we'll show you the crisis actors. People, on behalf of Chosen Few, Jesse, myself, thank you for your input. Sorry that we went overboard, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
3 and Kadosh, Kadosh, Echad Yisrael, Baruch Shemo.